Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
We're live. All right. Well, welcome everybody to Heart Talk. I'm so glad to be with you today on this 6th day of February in the year almost in 2016. What have I been? 2018. And I'm Sue Ellen Dickinson, and I will be your host for a very brief period this morning because I'm about to turn it over to our very special guest. But before I do, I want to welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. And also a reminder that Heart Talk is much more than an ordinary phone call because this is where you can speak your mind straight from your heart. And I know that's exactly what's going to happen on this great call of ours this morning. But before we get started, before I turn the call over to Dr. Cartwright, let me remind everybody that Heart Talk is brought to you by The Essentials. And The Essentials are helping you to feel better, one less symptom at a time. And many of you already know what the essentials are and what they do, but for those of you who don't and maybe listening on the replay for the very first time or are live with us for the very first time here, let me just give you a brief rundown. The essentials have been formulated by our very own Dr. Rudy Cartwright, who, by the way, is going to be our special guest today. And I'll introduce him in just a minute. But the essentials were designed and formulated for us MSers. But not only that, we have other family members, some in my family too, who are taking the essentials and swear by them because they are designed and formulated to help get rid of fatigue, to help stop pain, tingling, and numbness, to help with vision problems and also with balance. And they also can help clear up that brain fog. And we all know about that brain fog, especially yours truly. That just drove me nuts. But anyway, the essentials are here to help. The essentials to the rescue, as I like to say. Now, they are all natural ingredients. And a question that I get frequently is, can they be taken with your current medications? The answer is absolutely. You sure can. You can take the essentials with your current medications. So if you've been looking around or just wondering about, hey, how can I get some of my old energy back or maybe get back to doing some of the things that I used to do, back in the day, you might want to check out these essentials. So you're probably saying, well, where can I get them? Or where can I have a better look at them? Great question. Once I send out the email with the replay link in it after we have this great call we're about to go into, scroll down about halfway in that email, and you will see the heading, Get Dr. Cartwright Supplements. And there you will see a link to the essentials and also to Dr. Cartwright's other fabulous products. So check them all out. But by all means, click on the essentials. It will open up a brand new page, and you'll see the list of ingredients, which everybody wants to know about. And also it'll tell you everything I've already spoken to you about with the essentials and then some. And so click on that link and pick yourself up a bottle of the essentials. And remember that the essentials are helping people feel better, one less symptom at a time. And by the way, Dr. Cartwright, just as an aside, that's a great name. I couldn't think of a better name for that product than calling them the essentials, because in my book, and I take them, by the way, and have for a long time and will continue to on into the future, but I think that calling them the essentials is absolutely perfect. So without any further ado, let me tell all of you that I am very proud and very pleased and very honored to introduce our special guest today. And he is back by popular demand, I will have you know. And that is our one and only Dr. Rudy Cartwright, and he has a lot to share with you. So like I said, I'm going to jump off the call now because we are having some serious phone issues here at my house, and we're waiting on the phone guy. Hopefully he'll be here soon. But I will listen to this on the replay when you all are done, and I'll be back with you again live next week. So with that said, Dr. Cartwright, thank you for being here today, and let me turn the call over to you. Dr. Rudy Cartwright, you have the floor.
Okay, Sue Ellen, and I got to put this one in. Backed by popular demand means wires down.
Yes, my wires are down. Yeah, so it was. We have double jeopardy today, but you are back by popular demand, and thank you so much for being here.
I'm interested in getting back to the kidney stones. And who was that telling us about those kidney stones that they had to have surgery for?
That was Sherry. Sherry. Yeah. Okay.
Sherry. Here's a question I need to ask. While you were in the hospital, did they do an A1C on you?
No A1C. They kept track of my blood sugar, but they did not do an A1C.
Okay. They need to do an A1C. The reason being is if your A1C has been elevated for too long, then it's known to participate in the formation of kidney stones.
Yes.
So,
I knew that.
Pardon?
I knew that too.
Well, why didn't they do an A1C on you?
I have an A1C every 3 months with my primary care physician, and I'm due for one on March 15th.
What was your last A1C?
The last one was 6.7, I believe it was.
Okay. Did everybody hear that? 6.7? Too high.
I heard it. That is high.
Markedly too high. A 6.7 is, I think it meets the criteria, and you can check it out with your primary care physician. I think it meets the criteria that says you are diabetic. Have you been told that?
I am full-fledged diabetic also.
Oh, you are diabetic. I
am. Yes,
okay.
I am.
So, what you want to do, Sherry, is get your A1C down. Otherwise, you're going to have another one of those kidney stones. Your A1C is too high.
Yes.
And
I'm also immobile. That's what everybody tells me too. If I could only exercise, but I can't. I have upper strength, but I cannot walk or do anything like that anymore. I used to, but anyway.
That's a good idea, having upper strength. Upper body strength means that you can do curl-ups, and these dumbbells, you can get 2-pound weights, 3-pound weights, 5-pound weights, 10 pounds. I do 10 pounds to keep my upper body strength pretty good. And you can do the same thing.
Pounds.
Okay, well, work your way up to 5 pounds. And pretty soon you'll get there and you'll see your A1C slowly drop. It takes a while, but at least it's heading in the right direction. And
right.
keep in mind where you are right now, you didn't get that way overnight. It took years. But if you get, when you get your A1C back down close to 5, they say it should be below 6, which means 5.9. But you want to get as close to 5.0 as you possibly can. And you can do that. Then you don't have to worry about these infections. You don't have to worry about these kidney stones and what have you. And I hope they have told you what foods to eat so that you can stay away from those foods that help to form these different kidney stones. Okay?
Yes.
Do that. It'll pay big dividends. And you'll love yourself for taking control.
Exactly.
You'll get healthier. 6.7 too high. And then you mentioned upper body strength and exercise. There are some other exercises you can do, and I'll mention that because that works in with a book I've written and I've filed it. I'm waiting to hear back from the government, so they'll tell me, okay, you can go ahead and get the hard copies made. But at any rate, use those dumbbells, exercise every day, and you don't have to do a lot at one time. You do it, let's say 15 or 20, as many as you can do right now, and then an hour later you'll just keep doing it. You'll keep doing it and keep doing it, and you will start to feel better because exercise is exercise. You start to feel better, and you'll love yourself for doing it. Okay?
I hear you, and I will. Thank you, Dr. Cartwright.
All right, you will. I like that. You didn't say, let me think about it.
Yes.
Now, I know we have a number of people on the call. Well, let's start with you, Sherry. How long have you had MS?
It was exactly 19 years ago yesterday I was diagnosed with MS.
19 years.
Yep. February 5th of 99 was my D date, diagnosis date.
So, and before that, you were having some symptoms. And how long have you been having symptoms before you were diagnosed?
Well, thinking back, for years and years, I think, oh, now that makes sense. I have never been able to tolerate the heat. I grew up on a dairy farm where we baled hay, and the humidity here in Wisconsin can be real bad. Heat and humidity, that's a downer. I would really have a hard time keeping up with the hay bales and stuff. And I thought, I'm going to die. I am going to die. But anyway, and then if I would rest a little bit, get cooled off, then I could go back to haying. And I thought, that makes sense now. It didn't seem to affect everybody else the way it was affecting me.
Okay, a tip-off. Heat intolerance.
Yes.
Way back when. Been going on a long time.
Yep.
And over time, since let's start at since you were diagnosed. Are you doing the same as you were, or you have slowly gone downhill? Which one?
I am going to say, when I was diagnosed, that first year or two, that's what I tell everybody, MS hit me like a ton of bricks. And my neurologist tells me also, since then I've kind of plateaued, leveled off. But during that plateau, I've lost the ability to walk. My balance, I really have no balance anymore. And even when I was in the hospital this weekend, too, I asked for pillows to help hold me up, when I was in the bed, because I said I tend to lean to my right, as they could well see. So I had to get pillows to prompt me or support me on my right side, things like that. And now I forgot what I was talking about. Ask me again, Dr. Cartwright.
I wanted to know from the time. Go ahead tell me about your memory. Tell me about your memory.
Oh my gosh, my memory. I used to have a memory. My classmates even tell me I can remember things from way back when. I can't remember what I had for breakfast anymore, hardly, except I have the same breakfast. So, but anyway, if you ask me about yesterday, I have to really, really pause and think. A lot of times I just need time and I'll remember it. But yeah, my memory, that's why I felt I had to stop my job in the year 2000, because I was a bank teller. I was handling thousands and thousands of dollars cash. My till was never, ever off, not one penny. But I was afraid that it might be. I was afraid that I might not balance to the penny, and I would not be able to handle that. I would not be able to sleep. But anyway, I did not trust myself, my memory, and things. So I had to quit my job so that I could get rid of that stress.
Sherry, it's interesting how things work out.
Yes.
Sue Ellen's line comes down, and she calls me last night and said, "What I do?" And I said, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll rearrange my schedule." And last week when I was on, I was talking about the memory let's see here. Memory Improving Reading Book, MIRB.
Yes.
But I started cutting in and out and didn't realize it. And then I was called by someone who was there, and they said, "You know what? Sometimes you were just talking to the wall because nobody heard me." And it was on and off. I didn't realize that. But at any rate, the book is called, and I've been working on this book actually since 1988. That's when I first wrote the manuscript. And then the concept came up again. I got a note somewhere in one of my folders. Came up in 2012. Don't ask me why it came up. I didn't make a note. It came up again. But at any rate, it came up again this past June of 2017, and I thought, well, I'm just going to stick with this and get it written, edited, updated, and what have you. And that I did. It took day and night. I'm not kidding. Trying to get things correct is more than just a chore.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I have to do a lot of reading other articles that are published. And what you are describing, what you have, your description of what you have gone through, memory, is, from my point of view, and I got these articles that say it in a different way, is the basis of what's going on with you. And if you can do something, and you can, if you can do something that will improve your memory. You think memory is only involved with the mental aspect. But your kidneys have memory. Your lungs have memory. Your cerebellum, which is part of the brain, that's a small brain in the back, the cerebellum has memory. And every organ in the body has memory. And when you do something that will enhance the memory of the brain, you will experience improvement in memory other places. Your balance will get better. Your strength will get better. Your numbness and tingling will get better because the nervous system has memory. And when the nervous system, when its memory becomes impaired or it slowly declines over years, you start to go downhill and don't realize that what's going on really is a problem with a body remembering how to heal itself. That's far out, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I did take notes.
No, you don't need to take notes. This is being recorded, and
yeah,
I'm going to give a webinar on it, and I will list tons of literature that says, yes, that's going on, but they don't talk about it in that manner. the cerebellum. A gentleman published this in 1997, I believe. It was either 97 or 93, but at any rate, he said, you know, guys, this cerebellum has memory. And they poo-pooed him. It's published way back then. They said, what are you talking about? The cerebellum has memory and participates in memory. He says, yep, it does. So the important thing is this. And this is what I'd like to also bring out. Is that when you talk about your age, we know that aging erodes good health. Whether you had MS or any other problem, when you start to grow older, you get past 40, then 45, certain things starts to malfunction. Your blood pressure starts to go up. You develop diabetes. You develop heart trouble. And the list goes on and on. You have balance problems. All because of your age. And so essentially what you can say is that multiple sclerosis accelerates the aging process. It does. All diseases accelerate the aging process. Memory starts to go haywire. Balance is off. You get weak. You can't throw bales of hay anymore. You can't walk around the block. And pretty soon, you're bedridden. Now, if you throw on this horrible problem called MS, it really accelerates the aging process. Last night I was up working on this this webinar that Sue Ellen and I are preparing to give. I'm thinking, you know, I got tons of literature, tons of slides. I mean, how can I present something that's pretty straightforward and where you would understand it? So I was taking notes. I'm always taking notes when I'm thinking, and I write something down. And here's a short little paragraph, and then all of you who are listening to me, I want you to take turns and tell me what you think about this little short paragraph. And here it is. I write, MS accelerates the aging process. The aging process occurs because the body or its organs forget how to heal and repair itself. In other words, forgetfulness means a decline in memory. I need comments. Somebody go first.
Dr.
This
is Toretta. How are you today?
All right. How are you, Toretta?
Oh, I'm doing the best I can.
Good. Welcome to the club.
When you mentioned about the aging process and the different diseases that can cause that, because the body does forget, what about the fact, like with me, that's one of my biggest things is memory. And just like Sherry said, you know, you could give me your social 10 years ago and come back to me later on, and I hadn't even seen you in years, and say, do you have my social? Yeah, I can give it to you. And I could spit your social out like I was looking at the card. But now, if it's in my long-term memory bank and I've dealt with it for quite some time, then I have a good memory. But when it's in my short-term, I don't. So it's kind of like she was saying, I can remember all this, but I can't remember what I had for breakfast. But at the same time, do you understand the selective solution of how it chooses what you can remember and what you can't remember? You understand what I'm saying? I'm hoping I'm making it to where it's understandable.
You have a great understanding, Toretta. Here it is. There are different pathways that the body uses to do all the things that we do. It's like going to a jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to get through that jungle, and you'll start to walk one day, and then if many people start to walk on that same pathway, it'll get laid down, and you'll go straight through there. When memory is affected, that particular pathway that you're talking about, short-term, long-term, speed, you name it, is affected. So what you want to do is make a little veer around that part that, say, got a big divot in it or a tree across it. Go around that tree, get back on the normal pathway, and you'll get there to where you want to be. And you witnessed it, but no one ever told you that's what you were looking at. For example, you've seen certain people have strokes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with physical rehabilitation, over time, they can start moving that extremity again, and then they keep at it. They can not only move it, they can get up and walk, and then they continue the rehabilitation. They start working on their balance that they might be experiencing in terms of falling. And then a year later, in some of them, if it's not a huge stroke, in some of them, you'd never know they had a stroke unless they told you.
That's true. Because, I've faced that myself because, if I tell people that I relapsed back in 2013 and I ended up, I was walking around like nothing was wrong, and all it came from was I hit my head. That's all I know. And I know MS does take time for everything to expose itself. It can take over days, but it kind of forewarns you in a way to where your symptoms will hit, they'll start off, and then they'll continuously go, and up to where you have your full-blown attack. Well, that did happen to me. And in December the 31st, I fell in my bathroom, got up, called all my family. Nobody answered that time of the morning. So I sent them out a text and said, guys, I fell in the bathroom, hit my head. If I don't answer you when you call me, I'm asleep. Just come in my house. And that's when my mom and my kids came over at the time. And they came over, and when they seen me, they came and woke me up. And they looked at me and didn't say, they said I didn't look good at all. My kids were young. Pretty much I had a teenager and then a little younger one who doesn't really understand anything because he was so young when I got diagnosed at 11. So as Sherry said, she was diagnosed on the 5th. I was actually diagnosed by the doctor on the 17th, but I knew from my MRI results because they called me and said you tested positive for multiple lesions. Well, when I went to my doctor's appointment on the 17th, when I walked in the door, it was like thrown in my face medication. I barely could talk. My speech was slurred. They thought I had a stroke at first, but not all symptoms. And, everything happened in the month of February, and it was just so crazy. And this was all when I first went to the doctor, it was 2/11/11. And I spent overnight in the ER. I seen 3 doctors. Third doctor's the only one said, well, I'm thinking this, and by the way, you're functioning, so basically we're going to do you as an outpatient because we're so busy and no telling when you get seen. So they got all that done really quick. It was a pretty quick process, thank God for that. And when, I already kind of knew when he said it because I came home, researched on my computer, this and that, and I said, this is what I have, but I've had all these symptoms. And I went back to saying, I started having these symptoms after I gave birth to my first child in February. And today is his birthday. He's 19. But after I had him, I started having all these vague symptoms to where, it doesn't affect me. Hey, I need to go get my eyes checked. Okay, I'll go do it later type thing. The numbness and tingling. Oh, it's cold. Oh, I have problems already. Da-da-da. I'm getting old. That's the way I looked at it. And unless I would have hadn't went to the doctor, I could have been more debilitated than what I was. But mine was aggressive, and it was progressing, and they thought I was going to go to the second stage, so they were pumping medication into my body as much as possible. I mean, I was seeing my doctor pretty frequently. It was a lot. And I end up in 13 walking into the hospital that morning of the 1st of New Year's, and I didn't walk out. And after that, they sent me to rehab. And from rehab, I came home with home health, and I was in a wheelchair. And by the grace of God, it was like I was like, okay, I guess I'm older. I got to accept this is what I have, MS. My friends and family say, oh, you're denying it. No, I'm not. I'm living it, and it's like I'm just trying to get understanding, and I'm looking like I'm going to find a cure. No matter what, I'm going to find a cure because I don't want to be stuck on medication all my life. That's crazy. It's going to make me worse, every this and that. And so I took everything into my own hands, and like when my doctors or nurses would tell me, oh, I need you to do 5 this, I said, I'm going to do 10. And they were like, don't overdo it, because you overdo it, you can set yourself back. And it's not like you are having a broken something, because you can heal from a break, but you can be debilitated from this disease. And I'm just like, oh, gosh. And I looked at my kid, and my kid was like, Mom, is this you? You're going to be in this wheelchair? And I looked. And that's when I think I had a reality that hit me to say, you're going to fight and you're not going to give up and you're going to do this because you have 2 boys that depend on you to raise. So you're going to do what you have to do, what the doctors are saying to get up out of that wheelchair and one day soon walk again. Well, by the grace of God, guys, and a year later, I was getting up out of that wheelchair and I'm walking on my own 2 feet. And people look at me and say, I'm amazed. I'm amazed because I'm from a small town, so everybody knows me. And once somebody's sick or die around here, we all know. We're a community. We're a family. We join together. And people were coming to me.
Loretta, I think you belong to Sue Ellen Dickinson's challenge team or group or whatever you call yourself. Tell me about the benefits of that challenge that she has you participating in. Has it helped you?
When I tell you guys, and it has helped me tremendously. And I thank Sue Ellen and Dr. Cartwright for everything they do for us, because they're like little angels walking around, No,
don't say that now. Now I gotta butt in here. I appreciate the compliment, but don't.
You were sent by God.
No. I may cut you off now. I want you just to talk about Sue Ellen.
Dr. Cartwright, but I have to definitely thank you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be on this call today and many of other days. And it's a faithful thing, because the same people you're here on this call today are the same people that are on this call every single week unless something comes up. But the one thing I can say, we're also bringing in more people as well. So
Tell me about Sue Ellen Dickinson's challenge and how it has benefited you.
Basically, what it is we all get together and we talk and we score ourselves on a weekly. From 1 to 10, we determine what our weekly score was. Basically, how our week went. We take our temperatures twice a day, and we, average them out, what we would have in the daytime, what we'd have in the night. And any kind of, issues we might have had or any progress. Well, I started taking the supplements back in September, over a year ago, and within, I guess you could say, I'm going to say within the first couple of months, I started seeing improvements. And why I say that is because the year before I started taking them, I went to a college football game. And I thought I was relapsing. And I contacted my doctor, and they said, you might have just overdone it, and we're going to get an MRI. And so we did an MRI, no new lesions, no new activity. Everything was normal and stable, so I was thankful. Well, the next year, somehow or another, I had a dream. I was racing, and I wake up, and it's not true. I'm in bed, and I look, and my email has Sue Ellen conference call, da-da-da, and I was like, okay, it was exactly 10:06 a.m., and that's what I say about the memory issue thing. But the thing is, when I communicated with them, it was like, why did I communicate? That's my first thing. I have no idea why I did, because when I went back and looked, I had been getting these emails for well over a year. I had no clue, but I picked up the phone and made that call, and I've been on the phone ever since. And with the supplements, it has been a blessing because, as again, like I said, the year before, I went out of town. I had to do a lot of walking, and I thought I was relapsing. Well, that next year when I ended up going back to the game, I was on those supplements, and I was able to walk further than I did the prior year. I was able to move around, do more, had more energy, and things like that. So it's been a true journey with, these benefits of these supplements. They're wonderful. You can take them with your current medications as well, but the best part is you start to get your life back. It may not be completely everything you want like you used to be. It's baby steps, and I'm definitely taking those baby steps, and that's why I'm on the call every week as much as I possibly could be. Hold on, guys. Let me stop my phone from ringing. Sorry. And so, therefore, it's really a benefit. And the way I look at it is, what do we have to lose? We already have MS. It's not going anywhere. There is no cure in sight at this time. All we're stuck with is a medication. That medication does cause side effects, and it's no guarantee. It's just to treat you, not to cure you or heal you technically. But it's there and it's designed to do something with your body. I don't know how it works, but everybody is different. None of us on this call are alike in all ways. We all have different situations. They may be the same, but they just might be in a different scenario from others. Just like Sherry said, she's in a wheelchair. We have another lady on the phone that I'm aware of, and she's in a wheelchair. And beginning, when she joined our group, if it's okay if I say her name, is it okay, honey? And our MS Challenge is in the wheelchair. She's our ambassador. Is she on the call?
Toretta, okay, I always say this. I don't mean to cut you off, but I am. So the point is, we're going to give someone else the mic and let them speak up.
Okay.
So I read that little paragraph. I'm going to read it again, and then I want someone to speak up. Here it is. MS accelerates the aging process. The aging process occurs because the body or its organs forget how to heal and repair itself. Forgetfulness means a decline in memory. All right, who else want to pitch in and say a few things about what I just read?
Well, I think it sounds really good to me. This is Day.
All right, Day. All right, tell me what. I'm listening.
And I'm listening to you. What did you say? I'll have to have you repeat it because, I forgot what you said already.
So that paragraph that I just read, you think it sounds pretty good?
I think it sounds really good.
In which way? What's good about it?
Okay, what's good about it is it points out the things, the reason why your brain just doesn't remember very good and stuff like that.
Okay. How is your memory?
And, well, you see, I have the memory of an elephant, which means I have very good memory. But sometimes I do have that short-term memory loss. My social I can remember, too. And I'm glad I can. I even remember my husband's social. My son's? No, I can't remember theirs. I have to get out their cards and look at them again. Otherwise, forget it.
Are you able to get up and walk? Okay.
I'm not able to get up and walk. And I would be that other person that Toretta was talking about being in a wheelchair.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
And are you a participant in that
Yes, I am.
challenge?
Yes, I
And
am.
when did you join the challenge?
Oh, geez, I think clear back towards the beginning of the year, of last year, 2017.
Oh, okay.
And
Based on where you were back then and where you are now, is that challenge group beneficial to you?
Yes. Yes, it is.
In which way?
In which way? I mean, it kind of keeps me accountable, I guess you could say. Keeps me keeping up with my daily scores and temperatures and all sorts of stuff like that. And, well, it has been helping me to improve everything I should be doing. Like walking around the table, yeah. I haven't been doing that because I was sick. But I think I'm going to try it again today.
So your overall condition, health has improved just by being a member of that challenge group. Is that correct?
Pardon?
I say, so your overall health has improved just by being a member of that challenge group?
Actually, it has.
And if you don't mind, how young are you?
I'm 39.
Oh, you're a youngster.
Yeah. Come October, I'm going to be over the hill. At least that's what they always say when you turn 40.
Oh, when you're over the hill, that means you're ready to roll.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Dave. You're getting better by being with Sewell and Dickinson. That's good. All right. Will someone else step forward and comment on that short paragraph that I read? Or would you like for me to read it again?
Yeah. Well, probably wouldn't be bad to read it again, Dr. Cartwright.
Okay, here it is. MS accelerates the aging process. The aging process occurs because the body or its organs forget how to heal and repair itself. In other words, forgetfulness means a decline in memory. Okay, someone else step forward.
Is it MS that causes the aging process?
No, it accelerates the aging process.
Okay.
It helps it along. You know, as we grow older, for example, I'm past 60, okay? I can't run as fast as I did when I was 18. I can't run as long as I did when I was 18. There are a number of things that go wrong with the human body that causes us to slow down in many areas just by getting older, growing older. That is, adding 1 hour onto another hour, pretty soon it's 1 day, and pretty soon it's 1 month, then it's 12 months, and then it's, 50 months, 100 months. As time passes, we slow down in all areas. And MS accelerates, make it go quicker. It accelerates that process. Would you agree to that?
Yeah. Dr. Cartwright, have you ever heard people diagnosed with MS being treated with Botox? That Botox somehow addresses spasticity.
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
Have you seen it work?
I have heard that it helps some, doesn't help others. They use Botox on the face, on the muscles, for bladder spasms, things like that.
Yeah. Okay,
And but here's the thing: when you talk to someone about Botox, you have to go to the person who does it. Sit down in front of them and tell them, and ask them to lay it out. Will they lay it out for you about Botox? And we know that there are good things about drugs. Those are the wanted things. And because they're prescription items, there are some unwanted things. They got to lay that out for you in terms of Botox.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Who's next? Who else is going to go take the mic?
I'll take a plunge. This is Val's husband. I understand your statement. I got that. And then coinciding that with the question that you asked a few, how has the challenge helped? I think the positivity of the challenge with everyone, because like I said, everybody is different, but where you are, like you said, with the acceleration everybody has, forget that. We got to find different paths. Doesn't matter. And the positivity with the challenge of everybody, because everybody can come out with their heart, and it all helps everybody else. That's what I think.
That's really great. And how has it benefited you, the challenge group?
It lets everybody open up to where they are, the time where they've been, the steps that they've made, just some of the words that come out with people today. Because like you said, the acceleration part, that's going to happen, and we all accept that. I'm 65, and I know how that is. Can't do, like you said, 18 to 20, can't do that no more. So now, with the positivity, I look for different paths to go from there. Because the ones that the lesions that are, those are done with. So, like you said, swerve another direction. And with the positivity of the challenge, like one person said before, I saw that email time and time again. And one time I said, bingo, let me click on. And it's helped us tremendously from there. And it's still a heck of a challenge every day as soon as you get up. Okay, I'm going to give somebody else a chance.
Okay. All right. I appreciate your comment. It's really great because you guys are living witnesses that what Sue Ellen is doing is correct. And she does a great deal of reading also. And, I came up with this book I told her about, and she always, all right, send me information on it and send me something to read, and I sent it to her. I told her she couldn't talk about it, and I'm always, all right, Sue Ellen, you know me, just tell me the truth. It's either yes, no, or maybe so. The no's, I say, next, and the maybe so's, I go next, and the yes, that's what I stick with. And she told me yes, so I can bring it about now. At any rate, I'm not sure when we'll have a hard copy. I'm waiting to hear from those people who make the decisions in D.C. But the important thing is it can benefit you. It can benefit you. And I'll be honest with you, I don't do things unless I try it first. Then I get someone else to try it. Then I get my family to try it. And so we're all doing it. It's fun, really. It's kind of, I admit it's kind of crazy. But at one time going into outer space the thought of doing that was crazy. The thought of an automobile, crazy. The thought of flying an airplane, crazy. The list goes on and on. Oh boy, that's the fun of this. Is that you're always doing things to be helpful. If you're not being helpful, then, from my point of view, you're just on the wrong path. But my point is, I want to get back. I want to get off. I'll be talking all day. Just remember this: aging erodes good health, and at the center of that is memory. The memory of your toes, the memory of your knees, the memory of your muscles, the memory of your eyes, the memory of your cerebellum, the memory of the brain. All has to do with memory. And if you can, or not if, but when you do things that helps that memory, you'll get better. And in many instances, getting better means slowing the bad process down, slowing it down to a snail's pace rather than having it run around like a rabbit. And we know that a good diet is beneficial. We know that. We know that physical exercise is beneficial. We know that. They have researched that, published hundreds of thousands of papers on physical exercise. Now they're finally getting around to mental exercise or mental engagement. And that's what the memory improving reading book is all about. It's all about what we call ExerRead, EXEREAD, ExerRead, and it's fun. When you see it, you'll say, "What?"
Yeah.
When you see it, you'll say, "What?" I have to laugh about that. Anyway, I first showed it to my wife. She says, "What?"
Yeah.
I said, "Don't fret. Here are all these papers that says this is beneficial. So read what the scientists say, and then come back and ask me what." So, are there any questions? Hello?
Oh, where's the cricket set? So, Dr. Cartwright, let me ask you then, behind all what we just said, what do you think is the best avenue to travel at this point, say, overall?
Overall, the best way to travel is to make sure that you're getting a good diet, good sleep, good exercise, and something physical exercise and good mental exercise, and participating in group sessions. Those are social sessions. When you do that, then those small things are really beneficial. But here's the thing, what I've learned. It's hard to break old habits. Some individuals, they know they're going downhill. They can't stay at it because they've never have formed a habit. They never had a job that required a habit. For example, a banker that has to make sure that everything adds up and not off by 1 cent, not by 1 penny. That is discipline, and that's a habit. And what I found out also, everybody, including me, want it to happen overnight, but I recognize there's no way it's going to happen overnight, so I just tell myself that and say, okay, I got to do what is necessary. So in a nutshell, if you practice good things and continue it, you will continue to get better. You can turn back the hands of time. You can do that. And there's always someone who will be whispering over your shoulder that says, what are you doing that for? Nothing's going to happen. Okay? And don't forget that modern medicine has a lot to offer, but then sometimes it has to be supplemented. You can't get around the truth.
I used to lack what I used to do. I used to lift weights 25 pounds, and then it got so that I could only lift 2 pounds. Now that 2 pounds let me sit for, because I was comparing 2 with 25. But now I've accepted that I can't lift 25 anymore. And I'm thankful for...
Yeah, but you can get better. Don't forget that. You can get better. And getting better is a big deal. It's like having more money in the bank. You can get better.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
All right, I think we're coming up on the hour, and I'm just happy to be with you guys. Sorry that I have to go, but
thank you.
It's my pleasure. And Sue Ellen and I are going to give a large webinar so I can show you the different publications and when they were published. So you'll know this is not just something that I dreamed up on my own. Okay.
I'm looking forward to the extra read program.
Pardon?
I said I am looking forward to the extra read program.
Oh, you remember that name?
Yes, I actually do. It's kind of neat.
Oh, don't ask me how that came across my brain.
You know, I kind of like it, though.
Pardon?
I said I kind of like it, though.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Getting your brain to work in exercising mode.
Okay, I may just put that on the outside of the cover.
Okay, what?
Read Your Way to Good Health.
There you go.
We got it along with the plasticity.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Plasticity. Neuroplasticity.
Got it.
There you go.
That's right. It has been going on for about 4.5 million years within the human body, but no one talks about it. Now they're beginning to talk about it.
I see that we just had to find another path.
That's right.
Thank you.
The body does that. That's why they have physical therapy. Okay? All right, guys. I'll
Thank
see
you,
you.
Dr. Cartwright.
All right, you take care.
Okay, you
bye-bye.
too. Bye.
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 The recording is not stuck yet. Has it? I don't know.